Hello everyone, a very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. This is your host Vaibhav. In today's session of JForex Indicators Explained, we will be looking at a chart pattern, interesting pattern at that. The name is Ascending Triangle Pattern. This pattern takes into consideration the recent swing highs and swing lows and see if we have a pattern of price in which there is ascension happening in last given time horizon, whatever is your candle period, you can apply this pattern to figure out the opportunities to trade. So let us now head to the JForex 4 so that it becomes easier for us to talk with the pattern in place. This is the USD JPY chart. Just prior to the start of the session, I was looking at various charts by applying this pattern. And here, as it is a pattern which is not formed always, only once in a while it will form. So as a result of that, I had to do some search, and here I found one instance where there is a pattern formation of the ascending triangle on the 5-minute candlestick time frame of the USD JPY, and also a couple of patterns I found in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Now, if we consider this formation here, it simply takes into consideration the price action where there is a rise. The swing highs are higher and higher. We compare the recent swing highs, and it should be with a shallower correction at that. And this makes the formation quite interesting. I think we don't really have many formations where the strength of the trend is taken into consideration in such a manner which gives us the idea of the depth of the market and also the interest of the market participants, where we can see if the interest is rising of the market participants. That entails a possible big move. Of course, you can't really always tell when that big move might be happening, but with a factor where you have risk very limited and you have the reward which is likely to be favorably in your side. So using this formation, as the recent correction tends to be shallower than the prior correction, you will have your losses very limited, while your profit can be defined by using the width of these two lines at this highest point, or you can even take the difference between the swing low and the swing high at its highest, or you can say widest point, and that can be utilized as a target placement. And the recent correction provides you a possible identifying marker which can be utilized to go for the stop loss. So you get the risk reward ratio which is naturally in your favor, and this is a continuation pattern. So more often than not, you will see the price trending in the same pattern. So here we had this formation of higher highs and higher lows, with the recent swing low being shallower than the prior swing low. And then, even if we don't really know what is going to happen in the future, now if we are here and here we have to decide the kind of trade which we have to take, then the trade should be taken when there is a breakout on the higher side above this immediate swing high, and your stop loss can be placed closer to this immediate swing low. And if you are expecting the continuation of the price line, so see here, if you go back to future levels, we had this break above this level happening around this time, and then if we had placed our swing stop loss using this prior swing low, I think this trade should have been, let me check, if we compare this swing low which is there around 131.9, and if we compare it to the prior swing low, it is around the same level. There is not much of a difference. I think slight difference, with this swing low being slightly higher compared to the prior swing low. So here this instance is giving us um, kind of idea that this pattern might work more often than not. As I said earlier also, there is a continuation pattern, so whatever it was the formation, it is giving us an idea of the market participants interest. And as this recent correction is shallower than the prior correction, that means more and more market participants are getting bullish, the momentum is on the rise. And only when we get a fresh confirmation with the breakout, for the breakout above this prior swing high, we can go for a trade. Same tactic can also be applied on the opposite side. We can also go for the change, or you can say reversal pattern. And in that case, after this formation has been in place, we can then start looking for a breakout below the lower side while keeping the stop loss just little above this prior swing high. And in that case, we can also expect the trend to turn, and the contra trend, or you can say the trade taken in anticipation of the trend reversal, can also be initiated. And as we got this breakout on the higher side, so that was a formation of the trend continuation, and in course of time, we did see the USD JPY climbing higher, and quite substantially so. So if you had taken the risk of around say 25-30 pips, you would have been in profit by a substantial amount, almost getting you the risk reward ratio of 1 is to 2. Now let's consider some more examples. In Dow Jones Industrial Average also, I had spotted couple of formations back in time. So here we had this formation with the ascending triangle, swing highs, and here we would have needed a breakout above this prior swing high. And I think if we had gone in for that trade with break swing low, prior swing low being used as the stop loss point, let's see how things would have shaped up for us going forward. And it seems it would have worked in this instance also, as we saw the Dow Jones Industrial Average continuing to rise. So this is a formation which is quite reliable. Of course, it is not going to work all the time. Let us find another instance here. Let's see what happened in this time. So here we would have needed a breakout above this swing high, or a breakout below this swing low. And in this case, we got a breakout on the lower side below prior swing low, and then onwards it also went on to decline substantially. So this is an instance where we got a breakout on the opposite side of this pattern, and in two instances we had the development in formation of the continuity. And the interesting part is, in all these three instances we would have been on the profitable side. But of course, this might be lucky coincidence, or you can call it similar, or you can even say that I picked up these examples to impress upon the viewers to go for this pattern. But that is not the case. I was just searching for this pattern in a random manner, and I come across these three instances. But of course, the disclaimer has to be put in that not all the time we will be making money. Of course, we can also lose money even if we have a solid formation, everything is sound logically or otherwise, and still the trade might go wrong. So that is always a possibility. Apart from that, now let us see what we can do in terms of the customization. Let's see the options available to us on the platform. We can't really edit the parameters because, as you are aware, this formation is simply derived using the price action. So whatever happens on the chart pattern, you are going to be using that as the input. You can't really vary it manually. All you can do is go for a different candle period and see when this formation is taking shape on which timeline, and then maybe you can go for the initiation of the trade. Now I have changed the candlestick period to 10 minutes, and I am not getting these instances of triangle pattern, ascending triangle pattern formation. Here we got this with this sharp move on the higher side. It will be always a difficult place place to place a new trade. But still, if you had gone in with this trade also, this was also a case of continuation pattern. And here, if you had gone in for the initiation of the trade above this 135 or 98 with the stop loss being on the wider side, this would have been a very difficult scenario indeed. I agree, but still, you would have made money. So this is how this system would have worked out. Let's try out a higher time frame. Now I have changed the candle period to 30 minutes and no instance is being generated. Let's go back in time. Okay, here it was. And here also it was a case of continuation. If any of you had gone in for this trade above the breakout, above this prior swing high, then this formation would have worked and here you would have gotten the profit in this trade also. So far we have seen 5 instances and in almost all the 5 trades we would have been able to make money, but this might be a lucky coincidence, and I'm not saying that this indicator formation, this candlestick formation is going to work all the time. That is never going to be the case, but still so far this work seems to be working quite well. So give it a try out this ascending triangle formation on various candle periods in various instruments, and you will have much more data points to consider. Let's see what's the story for Euro USD. Euro USD might have generated this formation also a couple of times. So here we got this instance, and here we would have been on the losing side if we had gone in for the against the trade as we got this formation where the breakout happened on the lower side below this prior swing low, but it didn't really sustain and again it climbed past uh, our stop loss level. If the buffer was not good enough, your stop loss would have been hit and afterwards it would have gone on to decline. So that's the story for this trade. So that appears to be the only instance on half an hour. Let's try out lower time frame. No instance really. Okay, here we got one. Here the formation is happening around the same time where we saw on the half an hour formation, half an hour candlestick. So here also the same story with same outcome. Let's try 5 minute. Again here also the formation is taking shape. I think it is being drawn on the same timeline. Let's go forward to see if we have any further instance, and here it was with this sharp break on the prior above prior swing high and then continuation. So here also you would have been able to make money. So far the experience with this indicator has been the chart pattern has been quite good, and I think it can be relied upon as it is a logical formation with the recent swing low being shallower than the prior swing low simply indicates the growing interest of the market participants, and if there is a rising interest from the market participants, the price is likely to pick up momentum moving ahead, going ahead. So that's the possibility which we have seen with this formation so far, and we saw a couple of instances with good outcome. In 6 instances we saw this pattern provided almost 5 instances of making money, and in one instance it lost money. So that is always the case. No formation, no indicator is perfect. You will always find trades going wrong even when you have everything in place. So that's the part of the trading. You can say it's the part of the business. So that's how this formation works. So give it a try and see if you can come across more instances. You can observe the chart patterns for quite long period of time, and then depending on your observations and seeing how many times this formation has provided profitable opportunity and how many times this formation has ended up with loss making trades, you will have more this comparison, and you will be in a better position to then decide whether to work with this formation or not. So give it a try, and let me also know how this formation works out for you. So that's all from my side for today's session of JForex indicator explained, where we saw this ascending triangle pattern and its utility, its logical concept, and how you can place your trade in the hope of continuation of the trend, and also even when things are not going to continue, even if there is a breakout on the opposite side, you can still try to profit from it. So that's my take on these formations used in the live environment in the dynamic market. So give it a try and see how it works out for you. That's all from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write back to me in the feedback section, and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Have a fabulous time ahead. Make a lot of money. See you tomorrow with the new formation. Do come back.